you're mostly probably familiar with. These are Croatian players playing abroad, and once in the past they all played for Dinamo Zagreb, and this highlighted 20 million euros is one part probably of an amount that Zdravko Mamić and his colleagues took to themselves from the transfers of Dinamo players in other countries. One thing I almost forgot, why is this important? Not just for the transfer, the important thing is Zdravko Mamić in that time was connected with everyone in Croatia, or just everyone, with the state officials, with the president, with the ruling party, and so on, with the football federation, with the police, with the judges, with anything you can imagine in one institutionalized society. He was a part of it, let's say. So briefly, when I mentioned subcultures, here we have one holistic definition of subcultures. When we talk about subcultures, we mean that these are diffuse social groups that share distinctive values, norms, and so on. And when we talk about social movements, that idea of their difference from subculture is they have two let's say, structural things about them. One is the top-down approach regarding social movements, and one is from above, let's say, when actors of the social movement have their certain agency and deal with the particular interest of their groups.
So, to get into knowing more about this concept of worthiness, unity, numbers, and commitment, what Stili says is that each protest to become a social movement has to have these four characteristics while protesting: to be persistent in some kind of campaign and to become a social movement. So what he says: we are many, we are worthy and unjustly disadvantaged. We agree among ourselves. We are committed, disciplined, and legal. So what does that mean? That means each social movement, while protesting, has to be worthy of some social. In social terms, that means that their aims or goals has to be worthy, that their protest has to be worthy, and I will explain this when we will talk about results. Another thing is unity. They have to act in unison. They often wear common badges, common T-shirts, etc., etc. Another thing is numbers. The more the numbers, the merrier are the rewards of the society towards those social movements. And there is also commitment that says, okay, this is not just a craze. We are committed to this course of action. We will persist, etc., etc. And here there is another characteristic that our Belgian colleagues did a paper on that was never published, actually, and it's the diversity that says a group of people that not only consist of the usual suspects but mirrors the diversity of society on which behalf it claims to be speaking, simply has more democratic legitimacy. So regarding the method, I did ethnography, insider ethnography of Ultras Group Belu Boys for my PhD. It was 5 years ethnography, and I had 120 diary entries. While Dino also played a crucial role in taking interviews with group members and with ordinary supporters who were part of the initiatives. We were studying also. Here is very important to say that we did ethnographic content analysis of material, of various documents, news, ultras displayed material such as ultras messages or choreographies, graffiti also, and also very important forum entries on ultras forums or on the forums of initiatives. And we did a thematic analysis with all this material. Afterwards, when we collected it, we did another analysis that combines this protest characteristics, just such as worthiness, unity, numbers, commitment, and diversity. So Regarding some of the context, Belu Boys started the protest. Belu Boys are ultra group of Dinamo Zagreb. They started the protest in 2011 with a boycott and a series of actions such as petitions, such as vigils and all other sorts of actions that were actually civic actions. But since they were an ultras group, they were easily marginalized in news, in media, etc. So ordinary supporters also joined and formed these civic initiatives together with ultra group members. So the focal point of this era was forming the futsal club Dinamo to serve as an example of functioning one member, one vote scheme. Regarding the big Dinamo who played big football, and this futsal was an example of this functioning. So Mamić, as a powerful actor that Dino already said, tried to in every sort of way to disencourage them of protesting. So regarding worthiness, this worthy behavior says they are eloquent, they are disciplined, etc. And you can imagine when some ultras group is marching, do they look to you as eloquent, disciplined, etc., etc. So the problem with them was that they were a subcultural group that follow some rituals that are actually illegal, and they had to quit doing this. And that was the major problem. And solution was to divide civil and subcultural initiatives, showing of this well-groomed face, showing the academics that were on their side, showing actors or opera singers or usual singers, etc. And Mamić and Co, on the other hand, had a different idea. They said the streets or the underground wants to run Dinamo, and also this one that I won't repeat. And so regarding unity, subcultural unity was expressed by many groups. Torcida, Armada, they are rivals actually. Dortmund, Celtic, Dinamo, Vukušić, Frankfurt, Roma, Panathinaikos, etc., etc. Social movement was acting in unison in common aims, common repertoire, t-shirts, banners, public and press interviews. And Mamić, on the other hand, while they were showing some kind of unity, Mamić tried to disband them actually, and he bought off some of the supporters and some of the civic initiative leaders, and they become renegades of some kind. That they were publicly exclaiming that Belu Boys want to take over Dinamo. That on another hand they attack them on the streets, etc. So regarding numbers, as I said, the more people protest, the larger the chance the protest will succeed. But this is one of our results. Is the subculture is shrinking. It follows this previous part that I was talking about, and it says that a few times when Belu Boys were actually trying to do their rituals, they couldn't, because it would be a very bad picture for them in the news. Regarding social movements, they were focused more on voters, on members of Dinamo, on enlarging the basis of activism. 7,000 members were drawn to join Dinamo to change the course of elections. And also there were numerous petitions, two of which were important. And on another hand, Mamić worked with his associates to change the law on supporters 2 times. He put the ringleaders on blacklists. He forbade away games, and this all was in some kind of narrative that only a handful of hooligans want to rule Dinamo or want to enlist the democratization in Dinamo. So about commitment, well, commitment is the promise of a long-term fight. They want, as this picture says, they won't surrender. And so the 15 years of operation led to focus on bringing down Mamić. All rituals were focused on that question. The subculture was in some kind bleeding, and Torcida, the main rivals of Bad Blue Boys, were more focused on Armada, the ultras group of Rijeka at that time, because they weren't present on the football games. They weren't present anywhere that supporters should be present in their opinion. So social movement in the same times had three major initiatives together for Dinamo, for our Dinamo and Dinamo That Is Us, that each had some of the campaigns. For example, they were mobilizing members to protest against selling Dinamo to private investors and such actions. On the other hand, Mamić tried multiple times to cope these leaders, and also what I said earlier. And in the midst, some kind of focal point, these illegal activities of Mamić renegades, like shooting, star bombings, everyday cold weapons attacks on ultras and ordinary supporters, you can see it. I think you can see here an X with this guy. Okay. The last thing is the diversity. Well, as we said earlier, the unison part is very important, but also the diversity part is also important because it shows, okay, those are not only ultras, this is not only the street guys talking, it's about heterogeneous groups who represent some kind of democracy and society at large. And it was shown through the punk bands, to rock bands, through rap community in this subcultural level. This was solidarized with the football fans. And in another part, in part of social movement, they try to show this heterogeneity through academics, through businessmen, through opera divas and the singers, to popular figures with different cultural backgrounds and ethnic backgrounds, through kids and elderly people. And all the while, Mamić was downplaying these initiatives with the same old sorting, cooptation, violence, disqualification of people.
Yeah, and in the end, it was a happy story, but it took only 15 years to have a happy end. But this year actually, was that already mentioned happy end. But the main thing is that state was forced to act, because at one moment FBI and FIFA were involved in some bigger things than Mamić, but some things from Croatian football are also problematic, and they saw that in their investigations and so on. Mamić was sentenced to prison sentence, but the most it's a funny thing, because we're from Croatia, we know how things sometimes work. He left and fled to Bosnia and Herzegovina before his sentence was
5 years.
Yes, he got 5 years in prison, but the day before the sentence, he left to Bosnia. And he lives ever happily after in Bosnia nowadays.
Yeah, now he's a leader of Sarajevo football club.
Yeah, no, not officially, but
Not official leader, but
no. To be honest, his brother is a leader of Sarajevo, and we never mentioned one great thing. He wasn't alone. His brother was also in Dinamo with him, and his son was the manager of Luka Modric and so on. So we have that one song, "We're a Happy Family." That was in Dinamo. We were a happy family. So yeah, now he's in Bosnia, and at the moment he left Dinamo, Bad Blue Boys, and civil initiatives form, as we put it here, unnatural alliance with his former people, just to bring down those loyalists that were all left in the club. So once they entered the club, they had, these were not real elections. This was one, let's say, tryout for the real elections that occurred later, and the result is that Dinamo Spring list. It's important symbolically because there is a symbolic about Dinamo and Spring, because Dinamo won the title in Yugoslavia and so on. Just for you to get the whole impression how important for fans in emotional way, for ordinary fans and for ultra groups, is that idea of Dinamo Spring. So this is like a new Dinamo Spring. And in 2024, Dinamo had the first real, totally democratic elections. And you probably know this guy, Zvonimir Boban. He used to work in FIFA and Milan also. and he was elected the first president in the history of the club. So for some kind of discussion or conclusion, we're still working on this, and we think that it would be a great paper, but for now it's just like it's a huge phenomenon. You know, it's for 15 years of something that was happening. This is not just about football, to be honest. This is about Croatia in general and some processes that are happening not for 15 years but for last 30 years. So this is like a small catharsis, as we put it here. We have other problems also. So to conclude, yeah, there is always a structural tension persisted between subcultural modes and action and social movement strategies. Andrej showed you on the examples we have. Subculture sustain identity, cohesion, and long-term commitment, while movement-oriented tactics expanded legitimacy and mobilized broader publics through this WUNC model we were talking about. We must be honest and also think about that neither area, subcultural, civic, could by itself overcome this problem. It will, because once it was solved when institutional power got into the game. But important thing is that if there weren't these initiatives and these protests and creation of the people that will enter the club, probably Mamić would leave Dinamo, but big question is what would happen after him if there weren't people ready to take the control of the club, let's say, and have the real election. So yes, just in the end, this combination ultimately produced the one member, one vote, which was the whole idea, and now Dinamo is fully democratic. And once again, it took us only 15 years, but the story is over now. Thank you.